Hi, I'm Dr. Claire Ashley and I'm a GP with a specialist interest in mental health and mental well-being. I'm here today to talk to you about what stress does to the body and how to recognise when your stress has become overwhelming. So first of all, in order to understand what stress does to the body, you have to go back to when we were cavemen and understand how we evolved to have a stress response. So let's imagine you're a caveman, you're in your cave and you look up and you see a lion out in the distance. That lion wants to eat you. And so what your body does is it starts to pump out a hormone called adrenaline. Now, adrenaline causes changes in the body that prime you to either run away from that lion or to fight the lion. So what adrenaline does, amongst other things, is it causes your heart to beat faster, your eyes dilate up so that you can see better. It also diverts blood away from your gut to your muscles so that your muscles are ready to go to run away or to fight the lion. Now, obviously, as cavemen, this gave us a massive evolutionary advantage and we ended up being the top of the food chain. And so we don't have physical predators anymore. We don't have the same physical threats anymore. But what we have is different types of threats. So these threats elicit the same response in the body, even though they're not physical threats. So these stresses might be, for instance, trying to reach a deadline for your client. It might be that you're having to juggle homeschooling and your work at the same time. That's very stressful. It might be that you turn up to a really important Zoom meeting and you've accidentally got a cat filter stuck on it. That's stressful. What your body doesn't know is the difference between that type of stress and a physical stress, and what you get is the same response in your body regardless. Now, a little bit of this is good for you because a little bit of stress, a little bit of adrenaline improves your performance. So if you're managing your stress well and the stress isn't too much, it improves your concentration, it improves your focus, you'll be communicating well, you'll be meeting your deadlines, and you'll be focused and you'll be able to concentrate on your work. However, if the stress becomes overwhelming, or if you're subject to chronic stress, so that's a little bit of stress, but on a kind of an almost daily basis, you might start to develop symptoms as a result of that. So the sorts of symptoms that you might develop might be that you become a little bit more irritable, a bit moody, struggling to concentrate. You might find that your sleep is disturbed. So whereas before you might be sleeping really well, you might struggle to get off to sleep. You might have things whirling through your head as you're trying to get off to sleep. You might find that the things that you used to enjoy become stressful, or you're not motivated to do them anymore, you're not enjoying them in the same way. You might also find that you develop physical symptoms. So for some people, they develop tummy pains, you might get chest pains, you might get palpitations. Headaches are another very, very common symptom of an overload of stress. And sometimes for some people, those symptoms then become overwhelming and it might develop into things like panic attacks, nightmares, intrusive thoughts, turning to drugs or alcohol to cope with your symptoms, that sort of thing. And if you get to that stage of not being able to manage your stress, that's the point at which you really need to seek professional help. But ideally, before you get to that point, you need to learn some mechanisms to cope with stress, because we can't escape stress, particularly in lockdown at the moment. We can't get away from it. Things are very stressful. But the good news is that there are lots of things that you can do to manage your stress, and I'm going to be talking to you about those later in the week. So I hope you join me for that. Today, what I'd like to challenge you to do is to work out where you think you fit in terms of your stress. So I'm going to be sending out a table with different columns in it. What I want you to do is to identify where you think you sit in that table in terms of the levels of stress that you're currently having to deal with. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope to see you again tomorrow when we're going to be talking about mindset and positive psychology.